with 2 pounds of ground beef. You also can buy and use a meatloaf mix if you care to. That has ground beef, ground veal, and ground pork mix. So you can also use that. This is going to be all 100% ground beef. We're going to add 2 eggs, 1 egg usually per pound. We're going to cut up a few garlic cloves. Put it ready. And you can put the garlic in a grater if you like, grate it. The old-fashioned way is to cut it as small as you can. The smaller you cut it, the more it distributes, the more garlic taste you have. And I'm using probably 3 cloves of garlic for 2 pounds. Now we have the meat, the eggs, 1 egg per pound. We have 2 or 3 cloves of garlic. We're going to put in half a teaspoon of salt to taste, or more if you like, because the cheese will also add a little bit of salt. You can eliminate the salt altogether if you care to. We'll put pepper in, probably another half a teaspoon. A fresh ground is the best. And if you like the taste, you could also add more pepper. We're going to put in the breadcrumbs. I'm putting in 1 cup for 2 pounds of meat. You can put in fresh bread. You can put in any brand, like if you like rye better, wheat better. Of course, we always use the homemade Italian white when we're at home doing the regular thing. I'm going to chop now some parsley, and eventually I'm going to get my hands in this, because that's the best way to chop it up. Chop up the garlic. I'm not too good at chopping, but I get there. You can use dry parsley. If you have fresh on hand, it's better. But dry is just as good if that's all you use. I use only the leaves because the stems tend not to cook in meatballs. If you regular cooking, the stems cook up in liquid, but here it's not a good idea to put the stems in. Usually a hefty tablespoon is about enough. If you like more, you can put more, it doesn't hurt. Now we'll add cheese. You can use any Italian. Romano, Pecorino Romano is good. It has to be grated cheese. And you put in at least 1/4 of a cup for 2 pounds. That's enough. Now is the time, the fun time. Put your hands and mix everything up. And it'll feel a little bit dry because we haven't added water yet, but we will add what we feel. It gives you a good consistency for rolling the meatballs. Now meatballs can be fried, baked. When you make a lot of them, it's a good idea to bake them. We also have people that put them in the boiling sauce raw. That always works okay, as long as you don't use too fat of meat. Okay, now it's time for the water. And this is probably something For 2 pounds, I don't know whether I'll use a whole quarter of a cup, but you have to learn, probably, now that was just
It's a half cup.
eighth of a cup. And I think that's gonna do it, but we'll set it down a little bit. And then you go over in your mind, did you forget anything? I guess not, everything's in here. So then we're gonna start rolling meatballs. And we don't wanna make them too big. And there is a way to roll your meatballs. If you pick them up and you squeeze them and make them hard like a baseball, that's how they're gonna come out. If you're gentle, very gentle, that's how you should do it. Very, so that they don't come out as hard as a basketball or baseball, golf ball. So then you put them on a pan. I think we've decided we're going to bake them. So we'll bake them here.
There's 2 pans.
Yeah, okay. Just gonna move along. A lot of people will take white bread and soak the bread in the milk before they add it. And what they do is you don't make, they're not breadcrumbs, they just take the bread and break it up. And that's another way if you like. My sister would never do that because she said, we want meatballs, we don't want bread balls. So, so that's...
You could use wine.
You could add a touch of wine if you care.
Yeah.
Not the whole quarter cup. I think that would be a little bit too much. But, and you'd have to be gentle. My mother-in-law French fried hers, and I've never tasted a better meatball in my life yet, but I don't French fry them because we get away from all that fat.
Did she put a lot of oil in a pan to do that? Is
Yeah,
that what?
probably 3 inches in a big heavy frying pan, and get it as hot as you can stand it, and in went the meatballs. And she'd stand there and turn them. They were beautiful, but much too fat. This is the way my mom made her meatballs. We were never allowed to really get in and dig in because during the Depression she didn't want anything wasted. She didn't want any hands in anything in the kitchen. But my mother-in-law, she made them. I liked my mother-in-law's better only because they were French fried, but the contents was about the same. So I have taught my daughter how to make these, and a couple of daughter-in-laws, so they all make them my way. And so,
Don't forget your sons.
I don't know. Did you learn from me?
Everything.
Do you cook these at 325 or 350?
Oh no, at least 350. You could even go 375 if you watch them. And I would
We're
go,
drinking wine, huh?
I would go 375.
But it is.
Okay, 375.
Because the normal shot.
We're gonna put these in a 375 degree oven, but with careful watching. When they're this size, 20 minutes at 375 with careful watching will do. Once you look at them every 10 minutes, I would check them to see, and once they get crusty like you fried them, as if you had fried them, then you take them out.
Yeah, I'll bet you at 375 in 20 minutes they're going to be
Yeah,
looking pretty
they'll be
good.
perfect. Now see, these are just about brown enough that when we put them in the sauce, they will cook as long as it takes the macaroni to get done. They'll be perfect. So now it's time to put the meatballs in the sauce. Gently, otherwise we'll splash all over everything. And if you're not opposed to putting fat, you just scrape all this fat from the meat and add that. But of course, we're also conscious now of fat, we're not gonna do that.
Well, we need
Well,
some.
I
would do it.
I like to scrape it up and put it on bread.
Okay, good.
What can I
Yeah,
say?
would-
Chase with a
I
little
would
wine.
toss it, yeah.
So we'll put the lid back on, so we bring it to a boil. What number was this on before?
That you could use on
Front,
there.
okay. We'll put it up higher, but we'll watch it that it doesn't scorch. Yum, yum. There we go.
Yeah.
So Mom was visiting here and
Yeah.
then did you
Then I brought
drive
her-
over?
Manja, manja.
Did you come?